Okay, good morning. Day 131 here, and yeah, it poured last night. You know, it came in waves. A lot of thunder, a lot of lightning, a lot of rain. It it, we just got drenched here. So felt lucky I was able to get my tent set up. You know, I probably dove in the tent at 4:30. It broke for maybe 15-20 minutes, closer to 7. So that gave me a chance to, go outside, brush my teeth, and go to the bathroom and that. Ate inside my tent. I was in my tent the whole night. Woke up about 5:30, 5:40, something like that. I was up all night, with the rain and that. But woke up about 5:40. Was able to go outside. And it was not raining, so I was able to go outside, dig a cat hole, and do my morning business. But right then it started raining again, so dove back in the tent. Ate. It's kind of hard because it's the tent's pitched real low, and the tent's just soaked, kind of inside and out, because the inside wall gets the condensation and the outside wall gets the rain. So you're trying not to rub up against the condensation on the inside of the wall. While you're eating, hunched over, there's just kind of a high spot in the middle of the front. So after I ate, I packed everything up inside my tent, which I usually do outside because there's, you're not all crunched over, but it's wet outside. So I got my pack all packed up. I've eaten. I'm ready to go. All I got to do is pack up my tent and ground cloth, and then put on my rain poncho, and I'm ready to go. But it's still raining outside, so I'm hoping I'm going to hang out here for a little bit, hoping to get a little bit of a break in the rain so I can at least roll up my wet tent, get it in the pack, and my ground cloth, and get my rain poncho on, because the poncho goes over the pack. And I'm hoping I can do all that during like just a 5 or 10 minute break in the rain, so I don't get soaked in the process. And then I'm gonna start hiking. I'm gonna be wet today. Fortunately, it wasn't too bad temperature-wise. It was like 55 degrees last night. Even though everything was damp, I'm not cold. So that getting down in elevation, that really paid off. I've got about 9.5 miles into town. So in these conditions, I'll take probably 4.5 hours, I'm guessing. So if it's 6 or enough, if I can get on the road by 7, I can get there between 11 and 12, which would be really good. I'm going to be drenched, but maybe I can check in the hotel. Probably won't do laundry. I'm probably going to just check into the hotel, dump my pack off, and then head straight up the Hood River. Probably get something to eat there and see if I can get in the dentist. I'm not sure what time the buses run. They only run every 1.5 hours up the Hood River. So I got an appointment at 4:15. If I can get there early, I'll see if I can get in there early. If not, I'll just hang out, maybe have something to eat in Hood River. But I really want to get this tooth checked out to make sure I didn't do more damage than I think. And then we'll figure it out, because I'm going to take all day tomorrow off as a 0 day, so I can dry out my gear and clean it off on that tomorrow. Just hanging out here now, hoping that I can get a 5 or 10 minute break in the rain and get everything in my pack and poncho on, and start walking again. All right, check down later. Okay, it's 7:06. The rain let up a little bit here, so I jumped out, rolled up my soaking wet tent, soaking wet ground cloth, put in my wet backpack, threw my rain poncho on, and I'm gonna head out. I did all that without getting too wet. So, and it's probably 60 degrees out. So, all the vegetation is soaked. I'm gonna be wet by the time I get out of here. But I got a little bit of break in the rain. I'm gonna go down, check out some waterfalls, and hike out the 9.5 miles out, get into town, see how it goes. All right, we'll see you down the trail. Okay, so this is kind of cool. They carved the trail into the hillside. It's almost like a half tunnel here. So that's kind of nice. A little bit of exposure. Look at this. This is also dry dirt. I've been navigating over some of these wet rocks. With the exposure, you don't want to slip and end up down there. Nice to have some dry rocks, but I'm going to put the phone away so I can see what I'm doing. Behind me is another Fallen Eagle Creek. Let's see if I can turn around here. There's a nice fall. That might be Twister Falls. I'm not sure. But this is Eagle Creek coming down. I think this is the Eagle Creek Trail. Okay, I think this is Twister Falls. And it's very cool that there's two legs of it and then they cross right in the middle and go down. But now there's a steep gorge. You can see the trail goes right along the gorge. So it's not raining now, fortunately. But I'm going to go very slow because it's about an 80-foot drop off down there and all the rocks are wet. So now I see what they're talking about, the exposure, and people afraid of heights might not like this trail. But so far, the waterfalls are gorgeous. Look at this, Twister Falls. More of this where the trail is carved right into this hillside. They even got a steel cable here for you to hold on to because it's precarious drop off. You do yeah, because this goes all the way down. If you slipped off here, that'd be more than a chipped tooth. That could do some serious damage there. So we'll go slow. Probably even use the cable. Okay, so the last one was Grand Union. So I had to write the first one was Twister, then Grand Union. Now comes the granddaddy. Check this out. Up here is Tunnel Falls. Look at this guy. All the way up there. Down, and the trail goes right behind it through a tunnel. There's a huge waterfall going all the way down this pool. This has got to be 150 feet, 200 feet high. You can see the trail. Here's two backpackers that just passed me. And they're going to go through the tunnel right behind the fall. And out they come. There's one. Oh, the girl hasn't even, the girl's off to the right, so the guy's going back in. There's the guy, and there's the girl. Alright, I'm going to go check it out. I'm going to do my best videotaping this or recording this without falling. And it sounds pretty loud. Get closer. I guess if we get some water here, it'll probably take me down to the pool though. Man, this tunnel's dark. Should have brought my headlamp. So I'm right behind the falls now, through the tunnel. And coming out the other side. Starting to rain again. Nice. And I'm out. Once again, Tunnel Falls. Very cool. Here's an unnamed falls. Anywhere else this would be a major waterfall. It's probably 40 feet tall, but you got so many cool falls here, they don't even bother naming this one. That's another bridge. Check out how deep that gorge is. Man, this is just beautiful country. Fortunately, it's a little wet, but man, this is gorgeous. All right, making good time. I'm gonna keep hiking down. Another gorgeous falls. Not sure what the name is. My phone's starting to act up because it's getting wet, and it's hard to switch between apps. And so I'm just gonna keep it in video mode and capture some pictures. I'll figure out the names later, but it's just another gorgeous falls on the way down. I just passed the second bridge, so we'll figure this out. There's another view of the same falls. It's almost like a double falls there. It goes down to the pool and then down into the river. Just beautiful. I believe this is Lower Punch Bowl Falls. Holy cow, what the heck is this? Is that like a deer? I've never seen one like that. It's a deer, but he's got like white spots. He's half white and half brown. Look at this guy. Oh, there he goes. Never seen a deer like that. Wow. It's almost like a cow pattern. Now he's trapped here. Some other hikers coming. Which way you gonna go? Huh? How nice is this? You don't need a bridge or anything, just put some cement and stone stepping blocks right across the creek. First time I've seen that before, pretty nice. Okay, made it down to the trailhead about 10 o'clock. So that's not bad, 3 hours. I think it's about 7.1 miles. But I was stopping, taking some pictures and videos, and just the rain really slows you down. Anyway, I think I gotta walk this road for about a quarter mile. Then I think there's a path that goes into town, a hiking trail, or there's also like a bike and pedestrian path. I'm probably gonna take the bike and pedestrian path because it's still raining off and on. Still got my rain poncho on. In the hiking trail, there's a lot of thorns and blackberry bushes, which I don't mind the blackberries, but the thorns will rip up my rain gear. So, probably gonna take the bike path into town for a couple miles, 2.5 I think it is. We'll see you down there. Going through the tunnel under Highway 984. Very cool historic route. That's the tunnel. And the marker. I got this 2.2 mile, not really a road walk, it's an old historic route. Used to be an old highway back in the 20s or 30s. They've converted it to a bike and pedestrian lane path. So, it's walking on asphalt, but it's real scenic, real pretty. Like I said, there was another path, dirt path, but it's a little bit overgrown and thorny bushes and that. Normally I'd probably take that, but not in my rain gear. Anyway, trying to hustle down this path. I got a little over a mile to go. If I can get to this Columbia Market in like 20 minutes, I can catch the bus to Hood River. And there's supposed to be a good breakfast place there. And I can see if the dentist can take me early. If not, there's another one. So I gotta get there by 11:10, which is like 20 minutes away. If not, the next bus is at 12:40. So I think the breakfast place is closed by then. I'm gonna hustle, see if I can catch some breakfast in Hood River. Cascade Locks, the options are limited. If I take a zero, I'm gonna be eating a lot in Cascade Locks. So I'd like to have a couple meals in Hood River, mix it up a bit. So I'm just gonna hustle as quickly as I can. Maybe I'll get lucky and catch the bus. All right, see you down the trail. Okay, this is the first view of Bridge of the Gods. Coming in underneath it. And this is the last part of Oregon right here. As soon as I cross the river, I'm in Washington. So I'm gonna do that probably tomorrow. Right now I gotta go get some breakfast, see the dentist. There it is, Bridge of the Gods. What an awesome name is that? Okay, awesome breakfast at the Egg River Cafe. Nice little place. Had a great omelet. And I got a half-hour walk to go see the dentist. See if my tooth's okay. Hustled in Cascade Locks. Got to the bus stop with about, I don't know, 5 or 10 minutes to spare. I got 11 o'clock. And then bus got me into Hood River. Next town over. About a 20-minute bus ride. Had enough time to get some breakfast. Still working on my plans and getting around the fires. And now I'm headed over to see the dentist. Looks like it's going to be an uphill walk, but that's okay. Dentist is going to get me in early. Originally it was like 4:30 because I didn't know how long it was going to take me to get here. And he squeezed me in at 3. So that's even better because going at 4:30 I would have missed the last bus back to Cascade Locks and would have had to hitchhike, you know, back in the Cascade Locks. So this is just working out all the way around. Columbia River, away from Mount Hood, or Hood River back to Cascade Locks. Okay, I checked into the hotel, and very nice room. You know, king size bed, you know, nice little desk and TV and 2 refrigerators, microwave, little sitting area. Very, very cool room. But check out this bathroom. So you got a toilet, then the shower is like, I guess the toilet's in the shower. I guess there's a curtain. It's kind of unusual. But okay, all right. Well, it's part of the adventure, huh? Okay, so end of day 131. Today was a whirlwind. Wow, a lot of stuff going on today. So, you know, I wake up in the rain, which was okay. It broke early when I first got up, like around 5:30. Enough for me to go out and take a cat home, do my business out there. Then you know, as I was finishing up, it started drizzling to get heavier and heavier. So I ducked in my tent, you know, and I ate. I packed up my whole pack inside my tent, which is hard because it's, it's pitched low and it's wet inside, and everything's just soaked. It's wet inside and out, but most of my gear is somewhat dry. My sleeping bag and my puffy stayed relatively dry. They were slightly damp, but they're still relatively dry and warm. And it wasn't a cold night last night, so that was a big bonus. But I packed everything up inside my tent, and I was ready to hit the trail around 6:30, but it was raining, at the moderate to hard, I'd say. So I just kind of hung out my tent for about a half hour until the rain let up. And then, it kind of went to a very slow drizzle. So I got out, finished packing up my soaking wet tent. I mean, it's just completely sopped, and my ground cloth's pretty wet, and just everything's just dirty, from the rain hitting it and being out in the dirt. So I get all that packed up in my pack, put my pack and put my poncho and start hiking. And I hustled pretty good. I got out of there, out of the gorge, I don't know, maybe 10-ish. So maybe 3 hours. And then I had about a 2.5-mile hike into town. I could have taken a path into town, but the real nice pedestrian walkway and bikeway, the whole old historic road. So I took that into town, and while I'm walking, I'm looking up what the bus schedule is to try and get into Hood River, because that's like, I don't know, 15, 20 miles away, something like that. And it was like 11:10, so I'm hustling to get to the bus stop, and I figure if I can get to Hood River, I'm trying to get in to see a dentist, and that gives me some options to get in there early. I do that. I can't reach the dentist. My phone's flaking out because it's wet. So Sandra, calls the dentist. They moved my appointment up from like 4:30 up to like 3, which is great because the last bus out of there back to Cascade Locks is like 5:30. So, a 4:30 appointment, and the dentist is like a 1.5-mile walk away from the bus stop. So, that's a good half hour. I hustle. I catch the bus like with 5 minutes to spare. Get into Cascade Locks. I got a moved up appointment, so I have an awesome breakfast at Egg River Cafe. I mean, it was just fabulous breakfast. So I felt my belly. I walk over to the dentist and fill out some paperwork. They even took me early, and checked out the tooth. Said it's not it's chipped, but not nerve damage or anything like that. He did a repair. I asked him, is this temporary or permanent? He goes, no, it'll be a permanent repair. So got all that taken care of, and it was very reasonably priced. And I'm probably out of there in an hour, maybe an hour, probably an hour and a half doing the paperwork. I walk over to Walmart, which is kind of in the vicinity of the bus stop, pick up some additional food, because in the middle of all this, I find a ride from Vancouver, Washington, over to the trailhead. Not the trailhead, but I was trying to get to White Pass. This trail angel's taken 2 other hikers about 30 miles south of White Pass, so you get to explore the Goat Rocks Wilderness, which is by all accounts the best trail in Washington, and it's supposed to rival the Cascades. I'm sorry, it's supposed to rival the Sierras. So this is all just falling in place, and the trail angel, she's going to take 2 other hikers. She's working on the time, but I have to figure out a way to get to Vancouver. So I look up, and I can take a bus part way, and then a train. I think 2 different trains or trolleys or something from Portland over to Vancouver, and I think I can get there by noon, which is when she wanted to leave. So all this is working out, and I'm doing all this, in between breakfast and going to see the dentist. And then I, I had to get a prescription for some antibiotics for my tooth at Walmart, and get some, I got some additional food because I'm going to be out there 2 more days, and Sandra only sent me a 5-day resupply. So I picked up a couple days of extra food, and then there's just barely enough time, so I pick up a pizza at Domino's, walk back over to the bus stop, and I'm eating the pizza, waiting for the bus to get the last bus, 5:30, back to Cascade Locks, and inhale that pizza, come all the way back. So everything's falling in place until I get to the hotel. The hotel's, very nice, but they don't have my resupply package. And the tracking says delivered, picked up by an individual, Wednesday, 11 o'clock. No one that works here. It's a small family. There's only like 3 employees that run this place. And, I talked to the owner and their 2 employees, and none of them picked up this package. The post office is closed. This is Friday night. It's closed tomorrow, Saturday. I'm leaving, hitting the trail Sunday, so I don't have my 5-day of food. Plus, there was some gear. Sandra sent me some gloves because it's getting cold, especially when it rains. She sent me some tent stakes so I can get out my tent better, and some guy lines, some protein powder, and just a full 5-day resupply. So I don't know what I'm going to do about that. I guess I got to go back to Walmart, but they don't have the buses run differently on the weekend. I got to figure that out tomorrow. So that's kind of a low point. All my gear is just completely soaked and dirty. So, I do laundry, take a shower. I'm trying to dry out and clean up my gear. Got most of it pretty good, except for my tent's still wet and my ground cloth. I tried laying that out a little bit outside. Hopefully tomorrow, maybe it'll be a little bit drier and I can set that up outside and get that dried off a little bit. While I'm doing all this, the trail angel contacts me and says, hey, can you leave earlier? The other 2 hikers are getting in on Saturday, and they're going to leave like at 9 on Sunday. And another trail angel will give me a ride from Cascade Locks to Vancouver. So I was like, sure. So this is just awesome. I don't have to mess around with the buses and trains. And so, I go from like kind of a all-day travel plan of catching a bus to Portland, a train up to Centralia, and then having to do a 60-mile hitchhike down 5 and over Route 12 to White Pass, which is going to be all day if I can get a 60-mile hitch somehow. To a couple trail angels are going to step up, and I'll probably be there by like noon, 1 o'clock, and I get to see the Goat Rocks Wilderness. So all this is just falling into place. Just the old saying, the trail provides, it is holding up. So everything's working out good except for my resupply. I'm going to figure out how to get another 5 days of food. But I'll just have to work my way back to Walmart. I've got all day to do that tomorrow. And my gear's drying out. The only other down part is my phone is starting to flake out. I notice it does this when it gets damp, and it starts jittering around and going between pages or different apps. And so then I have to like put it in a different backpack pocket and let it dry out a bit. So that was happening today. That happens periodically when it gets damp. But now it's not charging very good either. So, the quick charge doesn't work. It won't charge when it's on. I can get it, if I turn it off, I can get it to slow charge. So this is starting to worry me. Might have to see if Sandra can get me a new phone somehow. But yeah, without a phone, I'm pretty much dead in the water. Because you can't be out there without any maps or information of where campsites are and water sources and where the trail is. If you get off the trail and you're lost, you got to be able to find the trail. So this is starting to make me a little bit nervous. I'm probably gonna go forth and just normally I charge it about every 2 to 3 days because I only use about 30% a day. But I think I'm going to start charging it up every night and keep my fingers crossed. Because that would be a major problem. So, all in all, the day worked out. My tooth is good. Everything's falling into place, getting around the next wildfire section. So my only worries are I need to get more food, and probably going to need to get some gloves and some tent stakes. Have to work that out tomorrow. And then keep my fingers crossed with the phone. So I think that's enough rambling, but just wanted to give you an update. I'm going to take a 0 tomorrow, which is Saturday, and then looks like I'm back out on the trail Sunday morning. headed up north, starting off kind of at the base of Goat Rock's Wilderness, I think. I still got to figure out the maps and that, but I think everything else is falling in place. So we'll check back in tomorrow.